Hi guys, few weeks ago I shared a video about OSPAP. It is a course that you need to do to become a registered pharmacist in the UK, and after that I received lots of questions asking me about OSPAP, but honestly I was not in a position to answer them because I didn't do OSPAP, but I knew someone who just completed their OSPAP successfully, and they're coming to my channel to share their experience as well as answer all the questions that you shared with me. Also, before we dive right into the video, I wanted to share that stay till the end of this video because that is where I share an important update that was not shared or discussed during the interview itself. So catch that and make sure not to miss it. So let's dive right into the video. For my viewers, will you be able to share your academic as well as the professional journey so that we can understand your background a bit?
Yeah, sure. So I did my Pharm D from PhD College of Pharmacy, Coimbatore. Then I worked there at PhD Hospital for around 2 years. Then I moved to industry, I would say. I worked as a clinical scientific expert, external role in Novartis for around 1 year before joining the OSPAP course. Then I joined OSPAP Western University, Birmingham. Then I finished the course and currently work as foundation pharmacist at Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Kingsley.
So you joined the course in 2023, and was it
Yes.
a PG diploma course or the MSc course?
Yeah, it's a PG diploma, so it's only for 9 months. And if you take MSc, it's for 12 months. And we have to do a project, but PG diploma, there is no project.
Okay.
And for registration, I think PG diploma is enough, more than enough. So I usually get so many queries in LinkedIn as well, like whether we should choose PG diploma or the master's program. So for the registration, PG diploma is more than enough, unless until you really want a master's degree or you just want the title.
I see. So in that case, the PG diploma is cost-wise, it's efficient, and also time-wise, it's efficient, and also you can move into the Tier 2 visa more quickly.
Let me say an example. So for PG diploma in Aston, the fees was, in my time, it was like £12,350.
I see.
For the masters, it's cost around £18,000. So there is a difference of £6,000 for this, just for the masters.
Okay.
And again, there is 3 more. We need to wait for 3 more months, and that will again delay to start our internship as well. I mean, foundation year.
So you said that you did your course, OSPAP course at Aston University, and there are 3 other universities, the University at Hertfordshire, Brighton, as well as the Sunderland. Why did you specifically choose Aston? And you must have done your own research and you must have weighed the pros and cons. Could you share that with us?
The simple answer to this is like, I got admitted at Aston. The main problem in OSPAP is getting to university. It's very competitive. Like there are more applicants than the available seats. So there is no much difference between the 4 universities. Yeah, there is location-wise, and maybe all other things are kind of similar. So I would say like just accept if you get a offer letter from any of these 4.
So did you do the application process by yourself, or did you go through an agency?
Yeah, I did through an agency. It's called Esperanza. They're based in Kochi, Ernakulam.
Okay. In terms of the qualification as well as work experience, could you share what is the requirement in OSPAP? I've already shared all of that in my previous video, but coming from you, it will be very helpful for the viewers.
Regarding the qualification, we need at least a bachelor's degree in pharmacy. So that's the basic qualification. I don't think there is a requirement for work experience, but I think University of Hertfordshire, they mentioned like a minimum work experience is required to consider the application. So I recommend to just go through the university website admission criteria and just see if anything changed. But when I applied for Aston, there is no such rule like you need a minimum experience. So there are student colleagues with me like who just completed B.Pharm.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. Can students who completed their B.Pharm do this course? Because most of the Pharm
D. Of course they can.
Yeah, that is very helpful. And also in terms of work experience, there were a lot of questions about work experience, but only University of Hertfordshire is asking for it and not the others.
Yeah, up to my knowledge.
Yeah. Obviously, you should do your own research, but thanks for sharing that.
When we say the difficulty of the course, so that will also depend on the individual. So if you have some clinical experience, obviously, if you're working as a clinical pharmacist in India or other country and you have some more clinical experience, that will really help you while you are doing the course. So others, they might need to put a little more effort to just cope up with that, but for admission is not required. Yeah.
And also about the documents that you have to submit, everything is mentioned on the GPhC website as well as separately on the websites of these universities. Was there a very specific document that you had to look for and request for that took a lot of time for you to get it sorted? Was there a specific document like that? Just wanted to check with
each pharmacy council, in India, like it's managed by state pharmacy council. So the good standing certificate, each state has their own like way to get that, and GPhC says they are to send from the pharmacy council to the GPhC rather than we are getting and sending it to them. So I used to get some messages from some of the colleagues, like, they were asking, like, their pharmacy council is not able to send that to the uh, GPhC. So what should they do? Something like that. So
Yes.
for me, Kerala Pharmacy Council was quite good at that.
Okay.
But for me, when I submitted the application to GPhC, they just halted all the process for like 1.5 months. So I was just worried, like, they just because they received lots of application, and they just stopped the process for like 1.5 months. And it's very time critical process. We need to get everything ready by sometime end of September, because the admission window opens on 1st of October.
Okay.
So fortunately, I just get the adjudication letter like 2 weeks before when the admission window opens. And
Can you explain the timeline? When did you start? And by when did you get the admission approval? And when did you do the ORIAL registration and you came to the UK? So can you explain the entire timeline? That would be very helpful.
the process, I think it's took almost 2 years. So I started preparing my OET sometime around like February 2022, and I finished the course by sometime around. I cleared the OET like June 2022. Then I applied. Then I got the approval letter in September 2022. Then I applied for the university in October 2022. Then we got the offer letter. Then we need to pay the fees. Most of the time, I think it's like £3,000 to just confirm the seat. And then we have to go through all of that process, like for visa, police clearance, all of the process. And we get the CAS. And in between, sometime around June 2023 or May, we'll get the ORIAL application window. So we need to apply through the ORIAL. And then we have to register for the exam for the ORIAL. And when we come here in September, we will be having ORIAL exam. So after we first landing in UK, within like 1 or 2 weeks, you have to write the ORIAL exam.
Yeah. So I understand from June 2022 to September 2023, there's a long gap. Is it there we don't have to do anything, or are we just taking the paper?
I think we need to do lots of things, like we need to do the police clearance and all of the necessary document for the visa, of course, funds.
Okay. So it's all the paperwork, funds, and this application process and all of that. Okay.
And just look for the ORIAL opening date. Like usually the university used to email the candidates like the ORIAL window is open, please register.
Sure.
And from next year onwards, all the foundation year places are only through ORIAL. So in our case, like there are still like we can get places outside of ORIAL as well, but in the coming year, all the places are within the ORIAL. So if somebody misses that, then I think there will be delay in getting the foundation year.
Yeah. I've already shared that information in my previous video, but thanks for pointing that out. And now coming to the part where you have come to the UK, you have started off with the OSPAP course. The first shock would be the coming to the UK and the whole migration. And the second one is to attend the exam that you have to do within the first 2 weeks of coming to the UK. What other things were most challenging during the OSPAP course?
Yes, sir. So OSPAP is nothing different from any other international degree or international qualification or something that all students have to face. So everything is same. Along with that, the course is very intense. Like in Austin, they used to mirror the syllabus like somewhat same as the fourth year M.Pharm students. Along with that, they need to add like some of the most important modules from their second year, third year as well. So it's like fourth year plus previous year module. So it's like it's quite intense, and there were classes like most of the days, like 4 days a week. And in Fridays we used to get off, but there are like recorded lectures. So it's quite intense. And when we come to other masters, I think like usually the core classes or face-to-face classes only will be like 5 to 6 months. Then they have the dissertation period, and they get some time to just relax in that period. But in this case, like 9 months, they will be like full-time busy.
In that case, was it similar to what we studied in Pharm D, or did you have to rewire everything and learn something new?
So I would say it's kind of similar, like when it comes to the clinical parts. But here it is like more guidance-based and guidelines-based. So anything that we do, like in the treatment, everything is basically on nice guidelines and the BNF. So there is specific guidelines for each thing. What should be the first line? What should be the second line? So we need to align our Pharm D knowledge with the guidance or guidelines here. But the basics remains the same, like basic pathophysiology or basic mechanism of action of drugs, the side effect, all the things remains the same. So things, unfortunately, there is no that much clinical part involved in the B.Pharm degree. It's doable, perfectly, definitely it's doable. So they might need to put a little more of.
Okay, did you have time to do a part-time?
Yes, I did part-time for like 3 to 4 months. Yeah, it is the term 1, I would say, term 1 and 2. So term 3 is like full of exam period. So I didn't have the courage to do part-time as well as the studies altogether. But as I mentioned, like it depends on like we have to take a choice, like whether how it feels for us. Like if I go to the part-time, how we can manage, or is it doable for us, because it's all about like how much effort we need to put for the course as well. So like if you feel like I have to do more work, I mean I need to put more effort for the course, then it's 9 months. So I recommend just focus on studies rather than part-time. Yes, money is important, but qualification is more than important. Somewhat like you have a like feelings like, of course, there is a foundation here, and you will be get paid in that. So you can just somehow maybe manage if you've gone through some kind of financial constraints in this period. So
You mentioned about the exams that's there in the term 3. What kind of exams? Is it MCQ based or is it completely written exam?
yeah, so exams basically the exams usually analyze like whether we are skilled enough to just start our foundation year as a foundation year pharmacist, like whether we have the minimum knowledge to do our work. So it's include a MCQ exam, that's the final exam. Then there is a Viva exam for like medicine law and ethics. Again, there is OSCEs, like consultation kind of exams, like how we are communicating with the patients, how we are recommending them the products, whether we are able to identify any red flags, or like in case like there's a need for a referral, whether we are doing it or we are recommending a product instead of that. So they will check all these things. Yeah. So mainly it's OSCE final exam,
Wow.
then the ethics, medicine and law. Then one more is case-based assessment, a case study. So you'll be provided with some cases. Then there will be a time limit. We have to go through it, and we need to just identify what is the pharmaceutical problem in it, and we have to write a care plan. And again, for writing the final exam, we need to pass the gateway exam that consists of again calculation, then one dispensing exam, then again one more exam in law. So that's considered as a gateway exam. So like we need to pass this to just uh, attend the final exam. But I think there is some differences between universities. Like it would be the same as other universities. So I think there's some specific syllabus as such. So there will be like slight difference between the modules as well. But all will be go through mostly the same exams, but the order might different, or like someone will attempt it in maybe the time 2 other than the time 3. So there will be slight differences like that, but mostly exams will be similar.
Okay, makes sense. Thanks for sharing that. And congratulations, you have completed it and you have successfully come to the other exam, which is the training and internship period. So when did you know about where you were allotted? So I know that it would be during the October or November. And the second question is, when did you get in touch with your employer?
So usually we doesn't need to contact the employer.
Okay.
So when the time arrives, like sometime around like March or sometime, they used to contact us, like if like saying what all we should do, and they used to start the pre-employment checks and all. So if your employment not contact me you sometime around in March, then may you need to just contact them. Otherwise, usually they contact you or us.
Okay, so you knew about your employer by November 2023. Yeah. Okay, that's good. So now that you have started with the training, one question I usually get asked is, does it pay? So will you get paid during the internship? And if so, will you be comfortable sharing what is the range? All I could find is some range on the internet. I just wanted to make sure that these are similar from your experience.
Yes, if you get a foundation year in NHS hospitals, so you will get paid in band 5, agenda for change. So it's like £28,000 per annum. So that's the pay scale of band 5. And if you're placed in community, there will be slight differences in the pay scale. So it will be sometime around, I think, like 20,000 to 25,000. Yeah, depends on the employer. If you get placed in London, I think you'll get some extra London allowance as well. Yeah. So that will make some 32,000. This fund is not paid by the employer. This is sponsored by the Health Education England. So
okay.
they are paying on behalf of the employer, or they're paying the employer. So when you get qualified, you will be get paid in band 6. It will be like £37,000 in NHS. And surprisingly, community used to pay more when you're qualified, and most of them pay like 45 to 50.
Yes. Coming to the interesting part, now that you're doing the internship, also you have to prepare exam. How are you handling the work pressure as well as managing your studies and preparing for the exam?
Yeah. So I just started like 2 weeks back my foundation year.
Yeah.
So I haven't started anything yet. I'm just settling there, just going through the mandatory trainings and all. So
it's too early for you to say, but do you have a plan?
So it's recommended to just start with the calculation. At least just practice some questions day-to-day basis, and that will just keep you like you're not forgetting anything, or just keep you the touch with the calculation. Then maybe sometime around like December, you can just start revising or preparing full-fledged. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is per week like there is a blocked study hour, like within your employment. Usually you'll get a half day per week for the studies. Then we need to, but that won't be enough to complete the preparation. So we need to just maybe put like 1.5 hours per day to just prepare for the exam.
Okay. So when will your exam be taking place?
It will be in June 2025.
Okay. All the best for that in advance.
So there are two exams. One is the summer exam that will be in June,
Mhm.
and a winter one that will be in November.
You can differ. You can take either one of those.
Yeah, we can take either one of it, but pass rate for summer is more compared to the winter one. So most people would like to attempt in the June.
So since you have moved into the internship period, I'm guessing that you have already got your Tier 2 visa.
So when you say Tier 2 visa, it's solely for the foundation year.
Okay.
So of course, so by the end of the year, we need to again find another employer and just make sure they will be offering visa for us for the employment. So that's one challenge. And then, of course, passing the exam is again one more challenge. Yeah, so that's the main two challenges. Yeah.
But from what you have seen in terms of your predecessors, they have been able to get the Tier 2 sponsorship more easily, and it's not that challenging compared to the industry, right?
Yeah. So it's a simple math. So supply and demand. Now there is a shortage. So of course, it's comparatively more easy to get placed. Yeah.
Good to hear that. Good to hear that. So next question is, since you did your Pharm D and you have worked as a pharmacist, and then you had a brief period of working for a pharmaceutical company, and then you decided to go back to becoming a pharmacist and serve the community, where was that decision point? And then you decided that I have decided to go back to the pharmacy, becoming a pharmacist and serve back to the community. What was that decision point? I just would like to know.
So serving the community, I would say like everyone, like either a pharmacist in hospital or like who are in industry, all are serving.
True. But how is it
Different
indirect?
ways. Like maybe guy working in industry is serving like more people with his efforts or the day-to-day life. I would say. From my personal choice is I always like to be in the clinical side. So that's what like when I was in the industry, I missed that face-to-face interaction. The clinical part of it. So that's what like I chose like just go to the pharmacist to be a pharmacist. Yeah.
I got that. Yeah, you're right. Like even the industry professionals, they are also serving the patients. But yeah, what I meant was like you are very much in close proximity and you are seeing the direct impact of what you are doing. Your job is very much, you can see the effects of what you're doing. In terms of my experience, I was there in the Pharm D, and I had the opportunity to do my internship in a multi-specialty hospital. I found that my work-life balance wasn't that great, and I wanted to go into the industry side, and where, like you said, more impact to the patients and getting to do the drug development from starting to the end, and then producing it, making sure that it comes into the market and all of that. And that's why I wanted to be on the industry side. And I've always been telling in my channel that being a pharmacist in the UK is a very safe and also a very important job, because you get very much respect, as well as the pay is also great. But I also wanted to check, have you considered that OSPAP, since it is a very UK specific course, will that be a challenge in future? I just wanted to clarify. It's my personal question that I wanted to clarify from your experience.
So once you qualify as a pharmacist, like and when you start working as a clinical pharmacist or a community pharmacist, there is still scope. You can move to the industry. There are specific roles, like they clearly mentioned, like a GMC registered doctor or a GPhC registered pharmacist, for example, medical advisor roles or the final signatory role. So that role specifically, it's a qualified pharmacist. So in that way, like if you change your mind and if you just get into industry, and maybe like 2 to 3 years of experience, and when you trying to move somewhere, that experience will help you. Like you can get a transferable skills. And on the other hand, since you're qualified in UK, I think in Australia it is easy to get registration. You doesn't need to go through the whole process that somebody applying from India. There is a easy route, and you can, like if you're registered in UK, I think we can work in Ireland as well. It's just some paperwork, so you doesn't need to do any other exams or anything like that. And recently I see a poster like Quebec in Canada, they accept the qualification in UK, so we can directly apply there. There is no exams. We can start working as pharmacists. But please verify this. I haven't verified it from my end, but just say a poster or message. Yeah. In Australia, I think like this is a different route. Like you doesn't need to go through the KAPS route.
In terms of, there are students who came here as international student and they have done their masters, but right now they are also thinking about the options of doing an OSPAP. Is it possible for them, and what would be the processes that they have to follow?
Yeah, of course it's possible. So I do have like 4 to 5 student colleagues who already did some masters here, and then they applied for the OSPAP. I think the process is the same. Like they have to do all the required documents. There are some queries like if you already studied a course here, whether they have to do the English language test. I think yes, they have to. I don't have any information like they're exempted from that if you already studied a master's here. So you have to get the English language qualification, or it's like all B in OET, or like band 7 in all the 4 modules.
Okay, so it's possible, but it's going
Of course, it's possible.
follow all the steps as a normal person who would apply from India. Even if you're in the country already, you will have to go through all the steps. So that makes it clear. In terms of the NVQ qualification, I have seen it when I was applying for like part-times when I came to the country. I saw that they were asking for NVQ qualification. I still don't know what it means. And there are some of the pharmacies that say that they can provide us with NVQ qualification if we have worked with them for a few months. So what is NVQ qualification, and does it count to the final registration?
So NVQ qualification usually required for the dispenser role, and it's not a mandatory for the qualification as a pharmacist. So dispensary role is somewhat the basic one. So when you study a pharmacy degree, it's more than that. So it's more than enough. Ideally, it should be fine. I also worked as dispenser in 2 pharmacies, but either one of them didn't ask for any extra qualification. They were just okay to take me. Maybe it's depend with the pharmacy and management. So it's technically like just on-job based training. So when you get into the pharmacy, they will train you, just make sure you have the necessary skills and like knowledge to conduct the day-to-day activities in the pharmacy. It's a very regulated field, so it should be like trained properly to just ensure patient safety. So how to answer the telephone calls, or how to dispense, how to print labels, how to affix the label, all this thing. So it's a like on-job training, and then they will be qualified as NVQ. So there are like 2 or 3 providers. I think Buttercup is one provider. They used to provide that, and most of the time, like if you're enrolled with the pharmacy, they used to sponsor you the course, and they'll give you the certification. And same as for technician as well. It's again a sponsored program. Usually, pharmacy used to sponsor you for the pharmacy technician course, and it's a registered position. So once you're qualified, your name will be in the GPhC register.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm also not very clear about the NVQ one because the pharmacy I worked didn't ask for it. So, but I see that just as a like requirement for the dispenser roles in Indeed as well. But since maybe like if you're doing OSPAP, like I think that should be fine because you're doing a pharmacy course, and maybe the employer will be happy to take you.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So the OSPAP qualification, the GPhC registration overrides all the other type of qualification, and that's the ultimate requirement.
Of course, yeah. So NVQ2 is just a basic one. So I don't think there is a mandatory like. So we are practicing to be a pharmacist rather than a dispenser. So you'll be like trained or like skilled to be a pharmacist. So the foundation here, like last like 3 to 4 weeks, there will be more independence. Like they train us to give you more freedom to work as a pharmacist itself. And I just thought like when I see your message, like just share my experience. So if it'd be helpful, like any of them, like.
Oh yeah, of course, it's
Very,
very.
I just like to add one more point. Like if it is possible, just try to get a dispenser job while you're doing OSPA.
Okay.
That will really help you to just like there is a difference in system as well, how medicine is supplied, all these things, and we have exams in like law, medicine ethics and practice. That's the law. So what we practice in the pharmacy, that's the law. So if you have a hands-on experience, that will be really helpful. Like the register, SCD register, private prescription register, what is the label requirement. So if you get a hands-on experience, all these things, that will really help you in the exams and just understanding the course as well. Okay. So, and although it's a long process, your OET is valid for 2 years, and I think GPhC lecture is also valid for 2 years, and sometimes they give extension as well. So if you're not able to get a seat this year, don't get disheartened. Just keep on trying. You will be there at some time. Yeah.
Thank you so
And
much.
all the very best for all those aspirants as well.
Thank you so much. It's very helpful. To wind up, I have understood that OSPAP is a long process, not only in terms of the course itself. So you have to do either a 9 months course or a 12 months course, and then comes the internship, and then you do the final GPhC registration exam. Before that itself, the whole preparation itself can take a 1 year or maybe even more than that. So it's an amazing and incredible journey. Ultimately, you are going to reach that goal of becoming a registered pharmacist and serving the community. And I feel like you have given us a very deep understanding and a very concise and very clear answers to all the questions. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. And me and my viewers, we wish you all the best, and may you successfully complete the GPhC registration and become a licensed pharmacist in the UK. Thank you so much.
So after the interview, Eldos reached back to share an important update that he received from the authorities that going forward, the OSPAP course, which is a 1 year or a 9 months course, plus 1 year of foundational training, that's the internship period, may be reduced to 1 year. The whole thing, instead of 1 + 1 or 9 months + 1, is going to be just 1 year. They're planning to club these things together. This will be applicable for all the international applicants coming from different countries. Nothing has been finalized yet. That is an important thing that I just want to mention. This is all still under discussion. It has not come out in the mainstream news yet, but since Eldos was already doing this course, they felt that he's an important stakeholder to be informed. That's why he had the first-hand information. But just a disclaimer that this is still under discussion, nothing is finalized, and also it may come into force by September 2026 onwards. So applicants applying in September 2024 and September 2025, nothing is going to affect you. Everything is going to be as it is. If this is coming to force, it would be from September 2026 onwards. But Eldos and I felt it was worth sharing with everyone who is interested in doing this course. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Till we meet next, take care. Ciao!